Today is lesson 3 in math, and we are going to be learning about multiplication as comparison. So comparison is when we take two things and we see how they are similar or how they're related to each other. And we can kind of do that with math, but it looks a little bit different than we would if we were in reading. So you can see my picture down here today. I have your notes. So 3-3 multiplication as comparison is the title of today's lesson. So let's go ahead and start our notes and start our lesson. I thought this lesson would be best utilized with your book, so you can also follow along in your book if you would like and write some things down there. Whatever helps you most with this lesson, go for it. So the first thing we're going to write down is some things up here. We're given some phrases that means that we're going to multiply. So let's write multiplication phrases. So these are things that we'll find in our word problems and in our story problems that mean we should multiply. So what are those things? Let's see. It says times as many. It says times more. And then we have times as much. Oops. Times as much. So times as many, times more, and times as much. Make sure you write all three down so that no matter which one you're given in a problem, you'll be able to identify that as a way to know that you should multiply. So if we look at our first example, it says Mary attended camp for 7 days this summer. Tyler attended camp 3 times as many days as Mary. Find the number of days Tyler attended camp. So if Mary attended camp for 7 days, but Tyler did 3 times that many, that means we're going to take the 7 and we're going to multiply it by 3. Now we learned in our previous lessons that there's many ways that we can do this. We can think about groupings, we can think about our math songs, we can think about repeated addition, and you can see here the 3 groups we have would be 7 plus 7 plus 7. So it's 7 3 times. So you can think about that. Really, we just need to know our math facts, okay? And if we know our math facts, we know 7 times 3 equals 21. So we know that Tyler attended camp for 21 days. Okay? So basically, you're not always just going to take the numbers in the problem and multiply them, so don't start doing that. What you need to do is make sure you read through, find your key words, and these are key words: times as many, times more, times as much. And if you don't see that, then you need to think about whether or not you're actually supposed to multiply or divide. Maybe they're going to throw in some addition and subtraction problems. Wink, wink, hint, hint. All right, and now we're going to look at example 2 because they show us a different way to visualize our problem. So in example 2, it says Suki used 15 beads to make a bracelet. This is 3 times as many as what Cassidy used. How many beads did Cassidy use? And so what happened here is we're given our answer. We know the total amount was 15. And we see the words times as many, so we know we need to multiply, but we're not sure how many beads we're multiplying by. We do know that it's 3 times that amount though. So what we're figuring out here is that 3 times something is equal to 15. And what you can see here is it's kind of like a visual for repeated addition. And so it would kind of be like what plus what plus what equals 15, and that number has to be the same. We can also think about fact families whenever we write it out like this. So I could say, well, what is 15 divided by 3? And that would be our answer for this. So 15 divided by 3, when I think about that in my head, I would get 5. So 5 would be my answer here. So then we would say, how many beads did Cassidy use? She used 5 beads because Suki used 3 times that amount. So Suki used 15, Casti used 5. All right, another way to visualize this is in our guided practice here. It says use multiplication or division to complete the equation for the phrase below. 3 times as much as what's shown here. So what they're saying is we're taking 3 times as much as this amount. This amount is 3, so we're figuring out what is 3 times 3. Well, if I know my 3 song, oh where is 3, 6, 9, 9. 3 times 3 is 9. So I can write that down. Whoop. Good old sloppy handwriting on a computer. Love it. So these pretty much kind of all go through the same amount. Make sure, though, when you're looking at things, that they are all asking you to multiply. Oh no, my session expired. All right, let's see if I can fix this real quick. Sorry, I've been thinking about Cardinals baseball lately. All right. Here we go. All right, next page. Okay. So what I wanted to look at was a homework problem. In your homework worksheet, I actually found somewhere, so I didn't create it. It looks way cooler than anything that I could create, so I hope you guys enjoy that. My only hint for you is make sure that you read the directions, because it's really an easy worksheet to complete, but make sure that you read the directions. Otherwise, you're going to be in a world of hurt trying to do that. Okay, let's go ahead and take one of these. Let's do number 7 together. And let's write this in our notes so that we can have an example of the bar diagram. Okay, so what you need to do is draw kind of like 4 boxes. Draw like a big rectangle. I divide it in half first and then divide those halves into halves so that I have boxes of 4. And then what I'm seeing is, and you can kind of draw it like this, that would be all of those put together. Okay, so problem 7 is saying 4 times as much as $5. So what's happening here is $5 is being repeated 4 times. So in my boxes here, I would write $5 4 times. Now all of that together, we would solve by saying 4 times 5 or 5 times 4, whichever way you want to think about it. And then that answer is all of this put together. So that would go up here, and that's $20. Okay, so make sure that you write that in your notebook for your notes. All right. So far, we haven't seen any problems where we might have to add or subtract. So make sure that you do look for that just in case. We never should assume that just because our lesson is about multiplying and dividing that we're not going to add or subtract, because in fact we're doing lots of repeated addition here to help us. So that's today's lesson, multiplication as comparison. Again, look for these keywords. Remember, those are the words that we box whenever we're using the cube strategy. And take your time with today's worksheet, read the directions, and do your best.